Welcome back to Million in 5, the marginalized edition, focused on the struggles of marginalized groups. I am your host, Valerie. In this compelling episode, we dive into a pivotal moment for diversity, equity and inclusion, DEI, with the story of a Texas federal judge ruling against the Minority Business Development Agency. Spotlighting the stark divide between the intent to support historically marginalized communities and the judicial backlash it faces, this ruling casts a long shadow over affirmative action and DEI initiatives nationwide. Against the backdrop of facts like companies founded by women receive less than 3% of all venture capital, we explore the broader implications of this decision and what it means for the future of workplace equality. Join me as we navigate through the frustration, the facts, and the fight for a more inclusive society. In a recent news story from the Washington Post, titled "Minority-Owned Business Agency Discriminated Against White People," federal judge says, we learn about a federal judge in Texas ruling that the Minority Business Development Agency, MBDA, is guilty of discrimination. The agency, created to improve access to capital for minority-owned businesses, has been deemed an illegal violation of the rights of all Americans. This ruling has potential implications for other government agencies that assist historically disadvantaged communities. This ruling highlights the ongoing conservative crusade against affirmative action and diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. It's part of a broader trend of challenging programs that aim to level the playing field for marginalized groups. These programs, including those focused on gender, race, economic status, and more, have been crucial in addressing historical disparities and promoting equal opportunities. Dr. Sarah Johnson, a professor of sociology specializing in inequality and social justice, says that this ruling reflects a larger pushback against efforts to address systemic inequalities. Affirmative action and diversity initiatives are essential tools in creating a more equitable society. By dismantling these programs, we risk perpetuating existing disparities and denying marginalized groups the opportunities they deserve. Dr. Johnson's analysis underscores the importance of recognizing the broader trends at play. It's not just about one agency or one court ruling, it's about the larger fight for equity and inclusion in all aspects of our society. Let's take a look at some analysis that shed light on the need for equity and diversity in the workplace. According to a recent study conducted by the Team Lewis Foundation, 40% of Americans with employer-sponsored health insurance delay seeking care due to cost. This disproportionately affects women, especially women of color, who face additional barriers in accessing healthcare. Furthermore, the study found that gender equality is not seen as a top priority for many people. Only 20% of individuals globally say their CEO is a woman, and companies founded solely by women receive less than 3% of all venture capital investments. These statistics highlight the ongoing challenges faced by marginalized groups and the need for continued advocacy and action. So, what can we take away from this news story and the broader trends of equity and diversity in the workplace? First and foremost, it's crucial to recognize that the fight for equality is ongoing. While progress has been made, there are still systemic barriers that need to be addressed. Secondly, we must understand that dismantling programs aimed at promoting equity and inclusion can have far-reaching consequences. These programs are not about reverse discrimination, they are about leveling the playing field and creating opportunities for historically marginalized groups. Lastly, it's essential for individuals to advocate for an inclusive world. Whether it's supporting organizations that promote diversity and equity, speaking up against discrimination, or educating ourselves on the experiences of marginalized groups, we all have a role to play in creating a more equitable society. Here's hoping that this story starts and stops in Texas. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Million in 5. Remember, the fight for equity and inclusion is ongoing, and it requires all of us to stand up and make a difference. Together, we can build a world where everyone has equal opportunities to thrive. Until next time, stay empowered and keep advocating for a more inclusive future.